Everybody, welcome to today's tactical tip. Today I want to talk to you guys about hand loads. Now, what is a hand load? A hand load is just something that we can hold in our hands. Usually it's typically a little bit wider than the width of our own hand, and it is something that we can use to potentially defend ourselves and help to repel an attack. Now I want to talk about an expedient hand load. So that means something that is in our environment every day, that under a critical incident we might grab it and use it to defend ourselves. So let's get even more specific. Let's talk about car keys. You see, I've seen in almost every magazine or any article and online, I'm always seeing people talk about using the car keys as an expedient hand load to repel an attacker. I think it's a great concept. It's a useful tool that almost, every single one of us is carrying every single day. Now here's the thing with it. Most times I see a lot of things that I don't agree with in that, in terms of how they hold and use the car keys as a hand load. Most articles that I've seen, they actually advocate taking the keys and placing a key between your hands like this, between your knuckles. And so what ends up happening is that at the end of it, when you make a fist, you have a car key sticking out of your knuckles like this. Try to line those up for you. Okay? Now the problem I have with that is that these keys are not very well supported when they stick through your knuckles like that. I don't know what the concept is to try to make you turn you into a Wolverine. The problem with this is that when you hold this, if you actually did this with your car keys and then went and actually hit something with any type of force, you don't have a lot of stability in these keys. These keys move very easily no matter how tight my grip is. And so what happens is when you have an impact, when you hit something, boom, I don't even want to hit this hard. When I hit that, look what it does. It takes that center key where most of the force was and it jams it up and back into my own hand. It jams it to the side of my knuckle. This is extremely painful to hit somebody with. Now here's the thing. Is this still going to do damage holding like this, hitting into soft tissue areas? Of course it is. If you get them in the eye, you get them in the face, you get them in the throat, it's going to do some damage to them. But here's the thing. It's going to move. Just taking your keys like this and holding them up against the face doesn't give you a true indicator of what that's going to be like, because there's no movement. See, I don't want to give you guys tips, and I don't want to work with people to show them how to stop somebody who's mildly interested in attacking you. I want to show you concepts that are going to work against people that are 100% invested in trying to get you. We are not going to be able to do this with enough force and enough repetition to stop somebody who's at a high level of conviction. So how do we do it? Let's change the grip. What I want you to do is, I much prefer, you can do this with a couple keys, but I'm going to show you just off one key. Now I happen to have one key that has a fatter base. That's a great thing. Doesn't have to be that way, but it'll work. Take that key, and what I'm going to do is, instead of placing it between my fingers, okay, especially the center one like that, and then making a fist where I have this pointing out of it, I'm going to take the key and I'm going to hold it parallel to the floor. I'm going to take it and I'm going to base the back of the key against the palm of my hand. Now it's got support. Then I'm going to wrap. Now you could go finger over it, or you could go finger beside it. I like to wedge it between my thumb and index finger. But notice it is supported against the back of my hand. Now it's kind of like a beak off a bird. Now the thing is, because I got pressure side to side, and I got pressure and control up and down, and I've got a solid base, which is the thick, solid palm of my hand. That is basing behind it. Grab that. Now with that, now you can hit with a tremendous amount of force. So now I can come over some of the tires, and I can jam into it with a tremendous amount of force. Now, if I go maximum force, the key's still going to move because it's hitting into a solid object. The tires give just the tiniest bit. Well, that more represents what happens when you hit bone. You see, hitting soft tissue, it'll go straight through. Hitting bone on an attacker in his arms as he ups to try to stop or defend it, that is going to cause some recoil force. And under real extreme situations, when people are moving and somebody is invested in trying to get you, it is not as easy as people might have you believe to just simply get the eye, get the soft tissue areas. You can do it, but it might not happen quite as easily, or it might not happen without encountering a harder object, which then pushes back or dislodges that from your hand. If you're going this route where it is very unsupported, I guarantee that that'll hit, twist, move, cut your hand, break your finger. You will not retain this nearly as long, nor will you send a strong message that you have a very high disregard for this person's well-being and safety as they are trying to assault you. So today's tip was on using keys as an expedient hand load. Put it and base it against the hand. If I use a smaller or shorter key with a different base, same thing. Wedge it, poke it. Look how supported it is. In against the hand for backward pressure, press to the side. This, I tell you, can be jammed into the face multiple times up, through. They reach around, grab you into their hands, into their metacarpals, into the leg, back up to the throat. This can be done a lot more times with a lot more force, and it's going to probably give you a much better outcome. So that was today's tip. Remember, the Unconventional X journey is about helping you train and become a modern protector, to build an unbreakable mental toughness, and to live with an unwavering self-confidence. If there's any way that we can serve you, please talk to us today. And until next time, stay safe.